Hello, this is Patrick from Ross Video, and I want to show you how to use insert graphics in events inside Trackless Studio. This is great for setting other events in our project online or offline, which are actually just other layers in our project other than our virtual set. So we're going to go to New Event, and we're going to see a new line item. And we're going to set the name of that new line item just so we know what it is, and we're going to call it Show News Scene, no spaces. The next thing is we're going to create an event in our Select Insert Graphics tab. So then click Add Layer to create a new line item. First thing we're going to want to do in the first column is choose the scene. We're going to choose a scene called Full Screen _ News. The next column we need to set is our transition. This uses the transitions of the sequencer inside of XPression, and we're going to choose Crossfade. The next one is the output frame buffer. And remember here, 0 is really frame buffer 1, and 1 is really frame buffer 2. We're going to leave that as 0. The next item is the layer index, the layer that this scene will appear on the output buffer. We're going to leave that as 0 also. Text object and text value we'll talk about later. The last thing is online. We want this scene to become online, so we're going to check the online checkbox, otherwise it won't appear. If we check online when this action occurs and this event plays out, that will put this scene online for us. Now let's create a new event. We're calling this event Hide News Scene, and we're going to go down to the Insert Graphics tab and click Add Layer, and we're going to choose most of the same things because this event is going to take it off, so we want to make sure we choose the right scene. The other thing we need to check is the online offline box. We're going to set that to off, so no check in the offline box. Now let's test the events to see how they work. Clicking the trigger for Event 1, Show News Scene, the full screen of News Hour appears inserted over our virtual set. Clicking the trigger button on the second event for Hide News Scene, the scene goes offline, but it was a cut. Let's change the transition to something like right to left to make it more obvious. So if we click on the trigger for Event 1 first, the transition will be a crossfade on, then click on the trigger for Event 2, the transition right to left will be used to take the scene offline. Next, let's create a new event and explore the functionality of text objects and text values inside of Trackless Studio. Create a new event, and we're going to give it a new name, and we're going to work with lower thirds, so we're going to give this the name lower third so we understand what it is later in the user interface. So change it to lower third. Now, we want to make sure that we work with an insert graphic, so we're going to go down to the submenus of the events menu, and we're going to click on Insert Graphic, and we're going to add a layer. In the first column, we're going to choose our scene lower third static. We want to go back and look in XPression to see what is available to us in that scene. So as we select it, we look at the objects listing, and we see there are 3 text objects labeled line 1, line 2, and line 3. These text objects will be populated in Trackless Studio using the Insert Graphic event items. Let's set focus back on Trackless Studio and take a look on how to set the scene online and how to use the text objects and text values to populate the insert graphic. We've selected our scene. Next, we want to choose our transition. We're going to set it to crossfade. We want to put it on output frame buffer 0, and we're going to leave it on layer 0. Now we want to look at the text objects. Line 1 is our first item, and we're going to populate the text in there. I'm going to put in Carlos Vasquez. Next, I'm going to add a layer, and it's going to be pretty much a duplicate. We're going to select lower third static, and we're going to put up all the same information in here with the exception of the text object. So actually we're going to put that as crossfade. We're going to leave the frame buffers and the layer index, and we're going to choose line 2. And in line 2, we're going to set the text that we're going to be putting in as company name 01. Let's add another layer, and again choose lower third static. The transition type is crossfade. The frame buffer and layer stay the same, and we're going to choose object line 3. And the value we're going to put in for text is Chile. Now notice on all of these items, online is checked. So in the events list, let's go up and press the trigger button. The lower third with the text values which are entered in the insert graphics layers is set online from this menu or from the production control menu. Now let's make a new event to take that graphic offline. We'll call it Hide Lower Third. Let's come down to the Insert Graphics events, add a layer, select the same scene, transition type we're going to call through Fade through Black, and uncheck the online box. When we trigger this event, you'll now see it takes that graphic offline.